on January 29th, 2022. I was leaving my house for a trip that should only took 20 minutes there and back, and I didn't come back home. A drunk driver by the name of Gary Dean Robinson sped through a red light at 103 miles per hour. He was on multiple substances, killing himself, his passenger, and a family of 7, critically injuring me and my dog Magic as well. It is hard. It's more than just a physical thing. I'm having one of those very high pain days where it's really hard to get out of bed, do regular daily activities. But it's also a spiritual and really emotional battle when I am trying to, navigate through life. It's a constant trauma to see the car crashes everywhere you go on our streets. So it brings up those forever emotions, and of course I'm living this every day.
So you have a lot of PTSD.
Yes.
In terms of this crash.
Yes.
There must not be a day that goes by that you don't think about this crash, what happened, and those people that died.
No, not at all. I think about it every single day. The saddest part is that children were killed. The youngest being a 5-year-old and a child named Gabriel. I have a child named Gabriel myself, and I have a new baby, so I'm constantly concerned about my family, my loved ones, and it's just really hard to get on our roads.
It is, and in this particular case, the driver was going over 100 miles an hour in a zone that called for 35.
Yes.
What's so sad about this is we see that more often than not these days in Southern Nevada.
Yes, excessive speeders are a real problem here in Las Vegas. It's really senseless and reckless behavior. I think that people need to remember that a vehicle could also be a weapon at any given moment, and we shouldn't have to worry about leaving for an appointment or a planned destination and not returning home in the same condition that we left it.
But you were in the trauma unit for quite some time.
Yes.
How long after this accident did it take you to get behind the wheel again? You must have been really scared.
Oh, absolutely. Being in the trauma unit in critical condition, and then transferring over to inpatient care for quite some time, I couldn't get on the road, and I still have trouble. It took me, I don't know, probably close to almost a year to drive again.
So in the aftermath of something like this, how do you come back from something like this? You're living in pain. I assume you probably had massive medical bills. Have you been made whole or compensated at all for this crash?
Oh, no, not at all. The driver had a limited policy of $25,000. $20,000 went to the family of 7 that passed away. I was given 5 that didn't cover one of my night stays at UMC Trauma Care, which was $20,000 for the first night. So I've been figuring it out myself. Great thing. My policy covered my vehicle, but I was very limited. Nothing came of this other than some really hard days, the trauma and the experience of this all.
Wow. So not only did this put you in excruciating pain, you were just on the road going to pick up some furniture that you bought.
Yes.
But now you're left with thousands of dollars in medical bills and excruciating pain.
Indeed, yes. People don't realize how traumatic car crashes are. You don't just deal with the physical pain of it all. You have to navigate the medical health system, which is really hard, and people don't recognize that there are a lot of medical professionals that won't touch you if you are in a car crash because of the way that lawsuits are handled. So it's a real struggle. There's so many people who are falling into the gaps of when they're injured. We often talk about the fatalities, but the severely injured and critically injured kind of fall through the cracks, and you don't kind of hear that much about, their journey after that. There's still an active GoFundMe. I haven't had donations in quite some time. The community was wonderful in gathering together to support me with about $20,000. I can't recall exactly the amount that was raised for the family of 7, but I'm grateful that that was out there as well.
So recently, law enforcement has really stepped up because they just are getting, we did a drive along recently.
Sure.
They are, local law enforcement is exhausted covering fatals
Yes.
every day.
Yes.
And they're really stepping up and urging the community, we need to change our behavior. Have you seen any of this coverage?
Yes, actually, I just want to highlight the officer that Officer De Souza, who was there for my fatal. Unfortunately, he got to see the horrific crash in the aftermath, the children in the street, and they were all ejected from the vehicles. I think that we have to pause for a moment and think about our first responders and what they're witnessing on the roads as well, and then having to continue on with their daily lives. It's a really tragedy for them. So I have actually picked up an assignment to work with the Nevada Department of Public Safety and the Office of Traffic Safety shortly after my crash. So I was able to develop a relationship with law enforcement and get involved as well in that work.
And what would your message be for people driving here in Southern Nevada?
My message would be very plain and simple. Just place value back on life. Be very careful, thoughtful when it comes to driving, even down to our pedestrians and bicyclists. We all deserve to go home to our families and not be injured or die on our roadways.
So you're urging people to slow down, take some time.
Yeah, I'm urging people to slow down, take time, not be distracted, and look twice for bicyclists, for children, motorcyclists. Just slow down and take your time. It's not worth a life.
My last question, I imagine this changed your whole perspective on everything.
Oh, yes.
I'm sure you seem like such an amazing woman and mother. And how did this change you? How did this accident change you? And it probably changed you forever.
Mm-hmm. This car crash has changed my life in ways that I never imagined. It's shaken my entire core being. It's challenged my perspective of the world, because again, babies died. And a lot of times people tell me that I'm lucky, and I don't feel lucky at all. I feel extremely saddened, and so many things I just go through on a daily basis that's unreal. And people kind of forget, but people like myself, the mother and the parent, the father of those children, my family doesn't forget. Even the driver's family has to deal with the trauma. We don't think about it when we're making these decisions, even if we're the person who caused them, that our families also have to deal with the aftermath of our decisions. So it's a very challenging experience. My entire life has changed. I used to be a very athletic person, but I have to think about every step. And we don't think about our privilege of our way of life, being able to use our body until you no longer have that ability. I have to think about where I step and where I'm walking, where I'm parking, and if a place is ADA accessible before I get there. And these are intentional thoughts that I have to go through before doing regular daily life events.
So this crash left you disabled?
Yes, permanently. They call it invisible disabilities because you can't. I look fine, I look okay, but I'm not okay. There's days that my body just locks up. I mean, my hands get stiff, my neck gets stiff, I have spinal injuries, knees, hips, everything. I have a traumatic brain injury as well, and it affects me in work, in school, and in my daily life, and it's just completely different.
Well, thank you for sitting down with us and talking about this unfortunate crash that you were involved in. And I'm so sorry. Anything else you may want to add that we didn't touch on?
I think that this is such an important issue, and people really need to take a second and really think about what's really happening on our roadways. Everywhere you go, it seems like crashes are the norm. You just kind of drive by, you take a look, and you kind of keep going about your life. But I think about in this recent car crash with those 12 cars, every one of those people, including those fatalities, their lives are changed. I'm sure that their bodies are different now. Being hit at a low speed will change your body makeup. So I really encourage people to start caring about one another and just pay attention and be a good Samaritan on these roadways.
Perfect. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Tiffani.